Korea had been directly ruled by Japan, where it was used as a supplier of materials for the Japanese such as
timber, rice, and coal.
After World War II, Korea would be seen as independent.
In order to demilitarize Japan, Russia occupied Northern Korea and the United States occupied South Korea. They were divided along a latitude boundary, the 38th parallel.
North Korea became the Communist Democratic People's Republic of Korea, and South Korea became the Democratic Republic of Korea.
Kim Il-sung would rule the North, while Syngman Rhee would rule the South.
Different ideologies between democracy in the South and communism in the North would lead to a Cold War conflict in the future.
U.S. President Harry Truman would introduce the National Security Council, a group of countries that believed in stopping the spread of communism by aiding the economy and military of different countries.
For example, the French received support in order to fight the Vietnamese, and the British received support in order to fight guerrilla attempts in Malaya. Now, why is this important? The Korean War is considered more of a proxy war than an actual war. Instead of major powers, in this case Russia and the US, going head-to-head in combat, they have other countries fight for them. By 1950, it was evident that Kim Il-sung wanted to unite both Koreas by force.
June 25, 1950, the northern troops crossed the parallel and pushed back the weaker South Korean army. They would make it to Seoul. Truman reacted by sending American troops and UN troops from Japan over to South Korea.
The US bombed Pyongyang as a result of North Korean brutality. The North Koreans start to feel threatened by others, so they call China for help.
General Mao Zedong says he will only help if the South Korean troops cross the parallel. Many people believed that this was a bluff because if China entered the war, it would hurt their economy and weaken the communist regime. Yet on October 9, 1950, China placed 4 armies on the Yalu River.
General Douglas MacArthur was the U.S. Army general in charge of South Korea's military.
MacArthur sent his troops to the Yalu River, where they were killed by the Chinese.
Now other countries start taking sides. On the South Korean side is Greece, and Holland, who donates a battalion, Australia and India, who donate surgical units, the United States and the United Nations. On the North Korean side is Russia and China.
Despite the seemingly uneven sides, China starts to beat the United States, and President Truman wants to bring China officially into the war.
Despite this, British Prime Minister Clement Attlee changed Truman's mind. Because of Attlee's convincing, Truman decided to fire MacArthur and hire a new Army general, Matthew Ridgway.
Ridgway used bigger guns at a closer distance and aerial attacks. On March 5, 1953, Stalin dies and the new leader, Malenkov, wants out of the war.
An armistice was signed, but not with the two Koreas. There was no winner. Under the former South Korean president, Lee Myung-bak, North Korea made several attacks on South Korean army and civilians. This was authorized under North Korean Supreme Leader Kim Jong-il.
What lessons of the Korean War can be used to maintain peace in Korea today? The massive loss of Korean lives should be a message to North and South Korea that their conflict will further the dehumanization of societies, so they must come to an agreement soon before they destroy what they have spent over 70 years to build. Direct results of the Korean War. Many lives were lost over the course of the war, almost 4 million Korean and Chinese losses. Relationships between countries were weakened. Hostility remained between the U.S. and China long after the war.
What stayed the same after the war? North Korea is still a communist country. North and South Korea are still fighting to this day since they never signed the armistice.
Created using Powtoon.